I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Foster on Kajin Cosplay, and today we are back again with you guys with The Boys!
Oh, that's a good pose. That's a good pose for the show.
Episode 4, Season 1.
Yes, this one is called The Female of the Species. And last episode, we got a lot of female killing people with their butt cheeks.
Female porn, yeah.
Yeah. It got extreme very fast. We learned about the drug, the compound V, that they're using.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we kind of know what it's doing. It's addictive as fuck. We know it gives them a boost of power. We know that A-Train, gosh, it's been a while. What the names? I'm forgetting.
A-Train.
We know that A-Train was on it when he killed Hughie's girlfriend, and he could. I mean, he was on a high, so that's probably why he couldn't stop. We know that a lot of superheroes are probably aware of that drug. We don't really know how
Who's taking it too?
Well, who's taking it, but also like. Or is it being used against them? Like, we don't know. Like, we discussed this a little bit last episode, but what's more important now is that we've got to take care of a body whose head exploded, and we got someone who could actually give us information about the drug, so that's pretty cool. And we sent a message to Homelander and the woman who's taking care of Vought, and Deep was there too. We sent the body of Translucent with a message. It's not hard to guess what's going on, but there's a war coming and it's about to get hot. So let's jump into this,
guys.
Let's go. He's the worst! Gosh, he's the worst!
He is such a manipulator!
He is! He doesn't give a shit! You know, what pissed him off here is the fact that he cannot, do whatever the hell he wants. He wants to, look into what happened to Translucent. He wants to... Basically, whenever someone pretends that they can go toe-to-toe with him and that they can, overpower him, he gets a complex, He wants to prove that he's the strongest, and he wants to focus on that. So since he's got a war declaration from Butcher, he's like, oh gosh, I'm gonna focus on this because that asshole pretended that he was strong enough to fight me.
That little human pretend that he can fight
the god.
He can fight face to face against me, and
yeah,
he's gonna do everything in his power to do something about it.
And like at this point his job has turned into a bother to him. Like he doesn't really okay, I do say a lot of the times that whenever we watch a show, we take the time to analyze characters from all sides. We don't just bash on a character because we hate the stuff he's doing.
We need to learn a little bit more about Homelander though to decide what is his true motives.
One thing I will say, and one thing I was thinking in the episode, is that it's almost like because of how much this has turned into a brand thing, commercial thing, and celebrity fame type of stuff, the emotions have been completely drained from the acts that they're doing. It's all a show. At this point, I don't know how long he's been in the 7. I don't know what he's been through. I don't know what he's done. But it's almost like he gets there because they told him to get there. But he sees this as another day on the job, another, boring Monday when I would rather be at home doing my stuff. I have to be here and do this. And whenever, whenever you get tired of your job, whenever you get fed up, maybe you start, not doing it correctly. Maybe you start, I don't remember what the expression is, but, when you don't do the job as good as you used to do it before, you're not as efficient. Well, it's the same with him, but his fucking job is to save lives. So whenever he puts on that persona and he pretends, and you can see through his mask because he's just so tired of pretending, what message does it send to the people he's supposed to save? And he shouldn't be a superhero if he's turned into an asshole like this who doesn't care anymore. If you're a superhero and your job is to save people, well, then you need to care. But he doesn't give a shit.
It's just like with Queen Maeve when she was in the plane. You got those two little girls looking, Queen Maeve, you won't abandon us, you weren't gonna save us, please. And you got your own fan base, people who look up to and need you to save their lives.
Like, she
They
still
hope they're gonna
cares.
save their lives.
She still understands what it's about.
Don't.
Yeah, she still understands what it's about. It's about saving people. Yeah, there's the brand thing for sure, but whenever she's faced with something that actually matters, it reaches her. You know, she was shook by what was happening, and the only reason why that plane went down is because he was careless. The pilot was shot. That's one thing, but then he didn't really take. You know, he doesn't give a shit about what damage his powers do. Kind of like Hancock, if you think about it. But he used his laser vision and destroyed the
headboard command.
The command board. Anyway, he destroyed it because he didn't give a shit, and he didn't think about the consequences this would have on everyone.
Even if he didn't have, even if he didn't destroy it by accident, I think that he might maybe have destroyed it by accident, but it wasn't careful about it.
No, he wasn't careful.
Since it's his responsibility, he should at least try to do something to help the situation.
Yeah,
but
he
he
gave
didn't
up.
because he gave up and doesn't care.
Exactly, because he's fed up. Like, he doesn't... It's not important to him. So what the hell is he doing as a superhero? Well, I think he's power hungry in a way. I think the fact that he's so powerful, maybe it started out as a good thing. Like, we don't know about his backstory yet. So maybe it started out as a good thing, but then I think the power went to his head, and since he's so powerful, but he's being manipulated and used for such little things, I think he became angry at how he was being used. So whenever someone tells him to do something, if he didn't want to do it in the first place, he's not going to take it that seriously.
Yeah.
So... in this case, it ended in the deaths of a lot of people, and Maeve, it's not sitting well with her, and I really want her to eventually step up and do something against it. But I think that Maeve has become a product of the real, if you think about it. Like, maybe she doesn't agree about what's going on, but she's accepted already that she can do shit about it, so she steps back. And she has a past with Homelander as well, so maybe that's why she doesn't want to step up to him. But
he might have something against her too.
I know that Starlight would not have accepted this. Like, she would not have given up, and she would have done something about it, maybe. But I think that Maeve is like future Starlight if it stays this way. Like, she just gave up because she cannot fight a battle on her own against all the other superheroes, you know? If they don't give a shit, what can she do? She's not as powerful.
She might not be able to stand up to Homelander too.
Yeah.
And that's the main obstacle for the soups right now.
That's why she's drinking. Although we haven't seen her drink since episode 1, I do think she's an alcoholic, maybe. Or she has problems with alcohol, but maybe that's the only way for her to cope.
Let's talk about the Deep.
Oh my god, that was so... Okay, disturbing but funny.
I'm
Change of tone completely.
still gonna hold him accountable for what he did in the first episode.
Forever.
But it's should understand where he came from, you know?
He is human.
Because everybody kind of love Aquaman too in the DC universe, let's be honest with that. No, not the Jason Momoa version,
but you know,
though.
Considering what he's saying...
The joke about the fish man who fucked the fish.
But maybe that's the thing, you know? Maybe... We can actually analyze what he did to Starlight in the first episode through the stuff we see here and the stuff we saw in the previous episode as well. You know, maybe he's considered the joke, you know, of the group because his power is considered silly and no one takes him seriously, and he's basically there just as a figure, you know? He doesn't do anything meaningful. He's like the others, he's a brand. But even as, you know, part of the Seven, even if he's a brand, the others who are also doing part of the brand, they don't take him seriously. So he's a joke even amongst the jokes.
Yeah.
And he hates that. And then came Starlight, who said he was his favorite. You know, she looked up to him, and he basically took that opportunity to be in power and use
take
it.
advantage of her. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's fucked up, and I do not agree, and I will never forgive him for that because he was never held accountable for it. Now that's aside, it's true that I can understand him, you know, understanding the fishes, and you know, he's a hero among the fishes. You know, they look up to him in a way that the humans don't look up to him in real life.
Right now is probably the only one who can speak for them on land.
And he's this god to them, maybe. I don't know.
It looks like it.
That dolphin was sexually
way
attracted. And in any case, so with the humans he's a joke, but with the fishes he's kind of like a god. So he wants to speak for them. He wants to do something that matters to him, but the brand is not gonna let him.
Well, if you think about it, imagine you're superhero and you're a superhero, and your power is I can't speak. Damn it! Your own power is regarding something that us humans doesn't really think about.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you can speak to plants and trees. We destroy them for our own benefits. But it affects you as a human being and as a superhero because you have the power to do something about it, and people just laugh at you because you're
even worse.
You're the guy who can whisper to trees.
And even worse, like they use his face to promote the abuse that he wants to stop. You know, I can't. He's kind of like Homelander in a way. In this type of way, you know, he wants to do something meaningful. They all want to do something meaningful, but they've been reduced to names and personas, and it doesn't sit well with them. Some of them don't give a shit. Like A-Train, I don't know what he wants to do in life, but he's all about staying at the top. You know, he wants to
be the fastest man alive.
Yeah, and
falls as the Flash. Let's be honest with that.
But his deal is with Compound V. You know, right now he's going through some shit with the drug, and it's a problem. Like I'm not sure like if he's allowed to just take it to that place and you know use it to experiment on the girl. Maybe he's trying to make it stronger somehow or last longer. That could be one thing.
I think that they knew about the place, but because I think that it was supposed to go there, take the Compound V and bring it back to the agency.
Maybe.
But why he wasn't supposed to do so?
I just find it weird that it would
bring it back to his girlfriend's apartment.
I just find it weird that it was happening in such a weird place. You know, it's a noodle shop in the middle of Chinatown. Like
it's a high illegal drug.
Yeah, but they're a huge company. They probably have labs and stuff. Like, why aren't they doing stuff in their labs?
Because if they do it in their own labs, if somebody found out about
they obviously create the drug in their labs. He just brings it to them. So he gets the drug from Vought, and then he brings it to the noodle shop, which I don't think that part of the deal is known by the higher ups. Maybe it's his thing. Which is why he's so... You know, I don't think that Homelander would care if he had a girlfriend who knew about Compound V. Maybe he would, but to the extent that he would actually go after her? Maybe it goes deeper than that. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying I thought it was weird that he was bringing it to a fucking noodle shop to do experiments. And he seems to be the only one really, really looking into this. Like, he needs to get that girl back. And by the way, like, I thought maybe the drug was coming from her, but then I figured out that he basically brings the drug to them, and they shot her with the drug. So what are they trying to do? And she seems to be, you know, strong, but all the time. So maybe they're trying to make the drug last longer?
Yeah.
I don't know, but she was an experiment. How she got there, I don't know. Maybe that's why she killed the woman, because she brought her here, and then maybe she supplied her. She gave her to these guys.
Well, they did say that she supplied 300 people or more than that.
They said she helped people illegally immigrate to the U.S.
Yeah.
So she was probably one of them, but then what she did with her, maybe that's why she ended up in this cage. In any case, I thought it was shady and like so, but Homelander, A-Train's deal is about the drug right now. So I don't know if it has something to do with Vought. I don't know if he's doing it on his own, but that's his thing. So we don't know if he wants to do something meaningful.
Do you think that A-Train created a side business with that place?
Maybe.
I maybe think that the company used that place to maybe do test subject on with the drug.
But then you mentioned stuff about them not doing it in a lab or anything because people could look it up. But then where do they build the drug? Where do they make that?
We'll probably see later on in the season, but that's my theory. That maybe they would use that place to do test subject with the drug, and A-Train was supposed to just bring the drug there to do the test subject, and he was supposed to talk about it with anyone, but he told his girlfriend about that.
I thought it was weird in the first place that he was keeping some sort of supply with his girlfriend. So maybe he's stealing the drug at the company.
Maybe.
To have his own stash, you know? He got addicted to this shit, and she was on it too, you know? So they've been shooting up for a while. I don't know. I think it's their own thing, but we'll see. We'll find out more later on. At the very least, like, his whole deal is about the drug. So that's one thing. And the others, the Deep and Homelander, they want to do things that are more important because they feel like they can do more in their own way. And they're not being listened to at all. So they end up doing drastic shit. Like letting a plane fall down in the sky because you don't care about what happens. You're just going to do things your own way. Or stealing a dolphin and killing him in the process.
He tried to do something good, but he did it recklessly, and the dolphin just exploded at the end.
Yeah.
Poor dolphin. But that conversation with the dolphin and the Deep was funny as
Weird!
It was weird, but it was so funny.
And he was giving in! He was about to... anyway.
He just said, I'm gonna touch you, it's fine, just that.
I'm gonna touch it. Yeah. In any case, one other thing we learned is that Translucent had a kid.
True, let's talk about that.
Hughie is going through some PTSD shit.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love when a show doesn't leave the little details about trauma, mental trauma behind. You know, it happens so often that a storyline is being dropped because people don't want to see a character mope around for many, many episodes. But I think that it's realistic. It gives them dimension and layers. And it's normal for a normal everyday guy to go through this and have PTSD.
Even more so if that's the first time that you are facing something like that.
And to say that the guy he killed had a kid, you know, it brings you a completely new perspective if you think about it. Because, you know, he wanted revenge because his girlfriend died and his life was completely destroyed. But what he's doing is basically destroying the life of other people that are innocent. So he needs to think about that. Is it going to affect maybe how he acts in the future whenever he needs to do something drastic? I don't know.
Well, it's just with what Butcher told Hughie about that. That Starlight is a soup, so she's just like every other soup that exists on Earth.
I was saying it's a racist or discrimination type of shit here because Butcher, something definitely happened. Like, I don't... Maybe the footage he was looking at, like you said, he was looking for clues or something, but something definitely happened. They said it, and every morning maybe he wakes up and watches that footage. It's his motivation, and he turned on all the superheroes. A lot of them are rotten. Doesn't mean that all of them are, but in his case, it's just he's over
everybody's
separating.
The same,
everybody's the same in his mind because they're all responsible.
But by doing so, some soup were maybe just alright.
Well, Starlight
is alright, but if you put all the soup in the same categories, like they're just rotten jerks, you're gonna just destroy their family lives, their friends' lives.
You're gonna turn yourself into a bigger jerk, you know, if you don't.
Yeah.
I understand, you know, wanting revenge for the people who died or suffered because of some superheroes, but then you bring that revenge to the superheroes in charge. You destroy the system that allowed them to do this shit.
I'm not saying that Translucid was transparent in what he did.
That he was blameless.
Blameless, yeah. But it's true that he had a kid, he had a family.
With him though, the problem was they couldn't just let him go.
True.
But that's the thing, like, what's the solution here? Go after the superheroes that did whatever the hell they did and make them pay, or try to destroy the system that allowed them to do this shit.
I think that would
he's doing both.
Destroy the system.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to do both. Like, he's trying to destroy all superheroes. He's trying to destroy all the companies. I love that he's going after the military bill because this will be bad if it passes. But then his motivation is not, you know, for humanity or anything. It's personal. So that's where it's a slippery slope because whatever he does, he could end up turning himself into a bigger villain than they are if he doesn't make a distinction between the good ones and the bad ones and just kills everyone.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, you know, you got a couple of people out there who, you got some people who murdered somebody and you blame the entire, you know, human race because of what they did. But then you gotta stop and wonder, why did they do that? Is it because they had mental issues and no one took care of them? That's the system. Is it because they had pulsions and they didn't know how to deal with it, so they took it out on people? Then again, it's not necessarily the person, it's the system. No one took care of that. No one, monitored that person, and no one stopped him before it was too late. Or is it because he was abused as a kid and then turned into a bigger abuser? But then again, that's the system. No one protected that kid. No one was there to stop it when it was happening. It's always about society. It's not, yes, you can stop the villain, but then there's always something behind the villain that created that villain.
I wouldn't put all the blames though on the system if something bad's happened.
Well, no, but think about it. Like, yes, sometimes you get one case where the person had no problems, had absolutely nothing. They just had, ambition, and they turn, into psychopaths, probably. But most of the time, there's a reason behind someone turning like this. If there was no reason, everyone would turn like this.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the system is not all to blame in every cases,
Yeah, but think about it. Like, when I say system, I mean, everything that's in place. The people that should have taken care of it, the people that should have monitored it. In the show, the system is the company, and also society, basically putting these superheroes on pedestals and forgiving everything they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a conversation that should take place in a reaction video, because it's a huge debate and it goes deep. But
I'd like to go back though to something that you told earlier about what can you do as a psychiatrist for superheroes?
Well, I thought
because you can't relate, but no, that's technically true. Even though that you cannot really relate to what they're going through as a superhero.
I didn't mean it as a serious thing. I just meant it was. It must have been funny to hear a guy talk about loving fish and you don't know what to say to that.
No, but deep down, even though that they got superpowers, no pun intended, yeah. Even though that they got superpowers, they're still human beings with human feelings.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's true that a psychiatrist doesn't have to go through all the traumas to understand the trauma. I just thought it was funny. It's not an issue I wanted to bring up in the discussion.
But I wanted to bring it back.
In any case, it was an interesting and really impactful episode. Like, the entire plane sequence really got to me. I love that Hughie is going through his thing. I love that it's not as easy as it could have been. Him not wanting to use Starlight, but then he still does it because he feels guilty about not thinking about his girlfriend.
I think it's a little bit understandable that he feels guilty about it.
He feels like he's betraying her.
She died by the end of a superhero, and he's going out with a superhero too.
Yeah.
So it's like the sort of ultimate betrayal.
I wonder where this is going to go, but whenever she learns the truth, it's not going to be pretty.
Nope, she's going to bench press him.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll stop it there. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it is already on Patreon. You can check it out. The link is in the description.
Yep, so don't forget, guys, to subscribe if you want to watch it now. And if not, wait for the next one to be out on YouTube, which will be next week. So you're going to see you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.